Hi, welcome to today's video. I've had some questions through my Facebook page and on my blog about recycling and refuse in Denmark. So I thought today I would start with showing you what different bins look like if you live in a house, and the next part of the video will be what it looks like if you live in an apartment building. So this is from Copenhagen. I live in Copenhagen commune. So this is how the bins and refuse work here. It will probably be more or less the same in all of your communes, and also the words will be the same. So first up, we have this bin here, which is a bin with a green lid. This is for everyday refuse. This is for what you have left when you can't sort it and put it in the other bins. When you live, I live on Amager, and that bin is collected every week. The next bin is the BO bin. This is quite a new thing. These were distributed, I think, last year, and it is for any BO waste. Now, on the tag over here, it tells us what we can put in here. It says all types of used food, both and raw and cooked, including meat, vegetables, fruit, porridge, corn, bread, nuts, peelings, eggs, etc. Coffee grounds and coffee filters, tea and tea filters, used kitchen roll, and cut flowers. Milk cartons, nappies, etc. cannot be composted in here. It must go in your daily bin, which is this one over here. So that's that one. You get given, delightfully, you can look in there. We're quite religious about this one. We do this one a lot. You get given this smaller bin over here, which you can keep in your kitchen, and you get these biodegradable bin bags. Now, I don't use that bin. I just put it straight into the little biodegradable green bin bags and bring it straight out. But then I can, because I literally just walk down some steps and do that. The next one is your green bin. Now, if you live in an apartment building, you probably will not have a green bin. The green bin is for grass cuttings and gardening bits and bobs there. That gets collected here. Oh, sorry, the BO bin gets collected every other week, and this green bin gets collected monthly. The next one up here is cardboard, or pap, as it's called in Danish. Again, we have another helpful little leaflet that's attached to it here. So this includes boxes from cosmetics, toothpaste, washing powder, mobile telephones, basically any cardboard boxes, egg boxes, paper, the roll inside your kitchen roll, postcards, and you can leave on tape, and labels can be left on it. I don't know what flamingo chips are. I will look that up and talk about that in the next one. You can't put them in here. Pizza boxes also can't go in because they have like oil and fat on them, which you can't actually recycle properly. So that's that bin. Next up is your paper bin. Which is what it says on the tin. It's paper that isn't cardboard, goes in there. And then the final bin, we have a dual bin here, which is, it's not quite the final bin. The final bin I have in my bank here, which has one side for hard plastic and one side for metal. Again, fairly self-explanatory. We also have a little red bin, which is for farlig affald, which means dangerous waste. So you can put things like light bulbs, chemical bottles, that kind of thing, go in that. If you live in an apartment, you're probably lucky enough to have a little kind of pillar bin where you can put your batteries. We don't have that because we live in a house. Sometimes you might find them in your neighbourhood. I actually put mine in the library one. There's a little one in the library that I use for that. You'll notice we don't have anything for glass here. Glass bottle banks tend to be located in the street in a static position and get emptied, and sometimes you might see a mobile one which gets positioned in a street for maybe a week and then gets moved somewhere else. So you have to do your bottles yourself and glass yourself. Generally, rule of thumb is look in the car park of your local supermarket or outside your local supermarket, as you will often find glass recycling there. Now, I have some glass there to recycle. I normally walk mine up either to a neighbourhood bin or glass recycling place, or by my local supermarket. So that is the rundown on the bins if you're in a house. The next part of this video will be what it looks like in an apartment, I hope, if somebody lets me into their yard to do that. So that's bins and recycling in your house. Earlier in the video I talked about glass bins that are situated in various different parts of the city. This, as I was walking up to the bus stop to catch the bus to get my lunch, I saw this one, so I thought I'd do a quick film of that. That is what we have for our glass recycling, and again on the outside it tells you what you can put in there. So it's got things like jars from any kind of food, so they specifically say pickle jars, herring jars, because we get a lot of herring here, mustard, wine, spirits, pesto. It's very strange. I find that there's specific foods that they mention. But anyway, there's those ones, and the ones that they say no thank you to are ceramics, porcelain, crystal, medicine glass, which you have to return to the pharmacy, window glass. Like, quite honestly, how are you going to fit window glass in here unless you're really shoveling it in as broken glass? But anyway, that's what you can put in there. And it's also, I believe, it doesn't say here, but I think that you can leave the lids on your jars as well. Presumably they use some kind of magnetic system to remove that. I am going to try and get into somebody's yard, maybe tomorrow when we're visiting some friends. I might go into their yard and finish this video here, but just next to this one outside this apartment building there's a paper bin, so you see it looks very, very similar to the paper bin that we have, except it's much bigger because obviously lots of people need to put their paper in there. Okay, I've been lucky enough, a friend has let me into his yard to look at the bins that they have here. Now the first bank you have are just regular household bins. Do you remember the ones I mentioned where you put everything in that you haven't been able to recycle? And they've clearly labelled it here, no, only rubbish in there. Then in the next bank down we have paper bins, a lot like the ones I showed you slightly earlier in the video. And they've got smaller BO bins. They've had to, obviously these sheds have been built specifically to hold all of these refuse bins, but they've obviously had to pop in their BO bins because they're something new from earlier last year. And up in the back there you can see what I was talking about, the battery post bin where you can put your used batteries in there. Now the next one, they have a lock up here where they have store scrounger, which is big rubbish, and it says no building waste, big electronic waste and dangerous waste, and that's locked in there. Sometimes you'll find this in the yard if there's space. As you can see, this is a huge courtyard. Otherwise it would be in the basement of your building. Next up we've got cardboard. Again, it's in only cardboard, and these are bins. They have, you may notice they've got a little lock on them, and you can either do it by hand or sometimes they have a key hanging on the side. Never really understood why. Perhaps they think that cardboard climbs out and takes over the world, but they often have locks on them there. So that's your cardboard. And next up down here, this is more just general refuse. And if we trot further down the yard, which they're really, really lucky that they've got this huge yard, as you can see, there's even a children's playground in the middle of the yard, which is wonderful. I'd love to live here actually if I lived in an apartment again. Isn't it beautiful? Anyway, further down, we digress. Further down, these guys are really, really lucky. They have their own glass recycling bin in here, which is great. Some more BO bins, more paper bins. I think actually as we go along here, it's just a bit of repetition of what they had in the other section. What we got in here? Ah yes, this is plastic. Not a lot in there. Plastic waste there. This one's, yeah, hard plastic. More hard plastic over there. Oh, bit of background noise, someone recycling their water, their bottles. There you got metal bins and smaller electronic bins. So remember in that lock-up further down there, they had big electronics. This is for small things, so you know, like PlayStation controller, camera, anything like that that's broken. And all of this stuff gets taken up to the tip, which perhaps I'll go up there one day and do a short video from there if it seems that something people might be interested in. But that's about it. That is how we do our rubbish here. There's a lot of sorting, lots of separate sorting, but it's not that difficult. It's really clearly labelled. You can see what you need to do. And if you're in an apartment, it's right outside your back door. If it's in a house, right outside your back door there. So yeah, that's why we're able to recycle so much in Denmark.